Good morning, Kansas City. This is the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John and Nate Bucati. And the Drake Jason Justice filling in for Jake Gutierrez. He'll be back on Tuesday, I think. So, looking forward to what Jake has to tell us about his travels out to Colorado. Stan Weber will be with us in about half an hour. He'll be in with us to talk some football and also make that painful transition we're making from football to college basketball. So Stan will be with us, as always, on Friday. Then, just after 8 o'clock, we'll have the Border Patrol Fast Break with Gabe DeArmond from PowerMizzou.com. We're going to have Missy Hodrick filling in for her husband, Jay Hodrick, to talk K-State. And then Greg Gurley makes a second appearance on the Border Patrol this week. He'll talk Kansas with us, Kansas basketball. And then we are going to have Tim Melia on from Sporting Kansas City at 8:35. And if that's not accurate, you can blame Nate. 9 o'clock, we'll have Tim Grunhard on the phone, who joins us from his Florida headquarters. And we'll talk some football and talk life with Tim Grunhard and see what he has to say. So, there you go. Full show for you on this Friday, February 23rd, 2024. And so I guess we'll kind of jump in to college basketball because that's, well, we got spring training going on, so that's good. But college basketball right now is the headliner because we're just a couple of weeks away from the Big 12 tournament here in Kansas City. And that's going to be interesting for a number of reasons. Oh, by the way, my phone started working at around 11:15 yesterday when I was getting my eyes checked out. I got a new prescription for some new sunglasses that I'm going to wear. So I'm excited about that. Also, Dr. Grimes at Littlefield Eye Associates. Wonderful sponsors of the Border Patrol and Sports Radio 810 WHB. So, but thanks a lot, AT&T, for figuring that out by 11:15. I was not happy for the entire morning. So,
how many text messages showed up on your phone?
None.
At one time?
0. So,
well, they just didn't even come through.
I don't know. I got, well, let me see.
I figured once your phone started working, all of a sudden it'd be bing, 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 bing,
No,
bing, bing.
people know better than to text me during the show.
Okay.
If they do, they're excommunicated. So I'm trying to see who. I feel like somebody did. I had a bunch of news updates. I get news alerts, probably too many. I'm a kind of a news junkie, and so I had a bunch of different alerts from the day. A bunch of emails came through. Although I was getting emails at work because of the Wi-Fi. But yeah, I didn't. I think maybe I got one from Jared Sutton because we did another episode of House of Hustle yesterday, talking college basketball, because he was at the Creighton UConn game.
Ooh.
And so he saw number one get upset by 19 points, and I asked him if Dan Hurley threatened to knock him out, and he said no. And so I was able to get to the bottom of that.
That's good.
And so we talked a lot about Creighton and UConn since he was there. We talked a lot about Caitlin Clark and her greatness. I'm not going to hesitate to call her great, and neither will Jared Sutton. So we spent, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes talking about her, talking about his experience at Creighton and UConn, talked a little bit about the plight of the Missouri Tigers and what it means for Dennis Gates to have Desiree Reed Francois, the AD that hired him, moving on to Arizona. And then we chatted about the Big 12 conference race. And so if you want to hear any of that, it should be released, I think, today. You can just check out Sports Radio 810 social media platforms. And it's the House of Hustle with Jared Sutton and me, brought to you by Charlie Hustle. So if you don't like basketball, wouldn't recommend it because that's all we talk about. But Jared's one of the best to talk basketball. And, of course, he is a scout for the New Orleans Pelicans. So he not only talks from the perspective of a former college basketball player, but also a current NBA scout. And he's going to restart his weekly appearances with us next week. He'll be on with us on Tuesday. So we got that going for us.
Looking forward to that.
Are you?
Yeah.
You don't act like it. Where are you going today? You're leaving the show early.
A little bit. Yeah, I'm headed to Orlando.
Thought maybe you'd already left for Orlando. We were worried.
Well, my son has basketball practice at 6 a.m.
That seems too early for a child of his age.
Well, it was very difficult to get him out of bed this morning, so we were running.
Should I not criticize that because of the coaches listening?
No, I think it's fine for those kids. I mean,
it?
hey, man, you know they have the coaches do a great job at our school, and they have 4 teams
Oh, yeah.
that they've got to juggle in the 8th grade because they don't cut anybody, which I appreciate because that gives these kids an opportunity to play middle school basketball. So when you got 4 teams, 2 teams practice after school, 2 teams practice before school, and I used to have to. My freshman year of high school, we had to practice before school. So you know, suck it up. You can do it. But it was a challenge getting them out of bed this morning. So but we made it barely.
Oh, did you?
Well, kind of.
Okay. Let me get a ruling on that, Drake. I think Drake said incomplete. So, well,
Didn't get 2 feet in.
maybe you did.
1 foot in the door.
Dude, I'm out of it. Whatever. I rule yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Budgeting the he asked me if he could skip practice this morning, and I said no. I made him get up. I don't know if that's bad or.
I went to the parents' meeting for track and field because that's getting ready to start. Practice starts next week, and that's Julia, as she's repeated to me several times. This is my thing, because she wants to make sure that her sister will not go out for track and field. And in the past, her sister has also not been allowed to attend her meets until we finally said, "Look, we're not doing this. She's don't look at her. She'll be in the stands. You know, just deal with it." And so I think she can go to the meets now. But we went to the meeting the other night at St. Pius, and I felt so emotional because there was a whole bunch of cars there. I'm like, damn, how many people are going out for track and field? This is gonna be crazy. And instead, it was a whole bunch of people that were going to the first round of the parochial league playoffs. And St. Gabe's, the 6th grade boys, coached by my good friend, Fire Chief Riley Nolan, who he came out and watched Richie play with Dolomite on Saturday at the Landing. More than I could say for some people.
That's true. That's fair.
For people that are listening, I threw my microphone to the side and started Nate.
Gave me the evil eye.
You're Mr. Dolomite. I can't get you to go.
I
will, can't pay you to go.
I would love to go to a show. I wasn't able
to.
What
if I told you it was sponsored by MLS?
Then I might make it.
Hey, everybody, I'm here.
Carve out time for that.
With free parking.
Yeah.
Oh, as we've already established, paying for parking is not an issue for me.
Dolomite has talked to people about charging $68 for parking. So
I mean,
you know what?
hey, can make some money.
I said, Sumo, I don't think that's going to work out. We need to rethink that business
Yeah.
plan. So now it's free. So,
If I could ride a bike to see them play, I might be more interested.
well, March 9th, they're in Overland Park, and you could ride a bike, but something tells me you'll be in Key West or Jamaica or something. I don't know. I don't know where you are.
It's possible.
It'll be a Brew Top South. I'm gonna try to get Gary Dieter out there. He says he's going, but what he says and what he does, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of Overland Park people out here, so a little get together out here. But so anyway, they're playing a playoff game, and my heart just sank because, and this is just a lesson, don't wish the time away. If you're coaching your kids, man, cherish those moments. And I know sometimes it's like, oh, we got practice again tonight, or oh, we got a game at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning. Oh, whatever. Let me tell you something. I don't even know how to describe how I felt, because I was thinking back. I mean, this is the first time that I'm not coaching in the middle, in the parochial league grade school playoffs since Phil was in third grade, fourth grade, something like that. Richie played, but I didn't. They had better coach dads than me, and back then I was calling games for UMKC, and I couldn't commit to the schedule, and that's one of the main reasons why I stopped calling games at UMKC, because then Phil sort of blessed, you know what, I'm not, this is too important. I want to coach. I want to coach my kids. And then, of course, coaching the girls for so long, those, you don't realize how big of a part of your life it is until it's gone. Like Cinderella once said, don't know what you got until it's gone. And it's not, but I just walked in there and I see all the parents with their St. Gabe's sweatshirts or St. Gabe's shirts and everything else, and Father Kryler's over there, giving the kids a pep talk. I'm like, it's like, it's just like you think there's all these years ahead of you, and then bam, 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 it's gone. That's why I'm trying to pump the brakes right now with the girls in high school, because we went through, Selena played softball, and then she played basketball. Now Julia's running track, and I'm trying to appreciate and embrace every meeting, there were, like with you, there are no complaints from me about any taking a practice or driving 2 hours to a game or any of that, because we have a little bit of a daunting schedule. There's road games at Maryville and Chillicothe, and but it gives me a chance to see the state. And actually, what's been really cool, it gives me a chance to go to some smaller towns that have some really loyal Sports Radio 810 listeners, and I really get a kick out of, like, I'm in Chillicothe and someone walks up to me and goes, hey, I know you're at your kid's game, but I appreciate the show. I like listening to you and Nate. And I'm thinking, damn, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, where's the concession stand? What do you guys got here? You guys got hamburgers? Yeah, Dumpy, they're over there. Thanks for coming out. But, yeah, man, it was like a punch in the gut. And I wanted to go in, and so my wife goes, you going to go in and watch some of it? I said, I'm not ready for that. And then
Too soon.
And then our priest, Father Kryler, walked out. I go, how we doing? He goes, we're up 15-2. I said, okay, good.
That's good.
Because we're the one seed. Like, let's go.
Take care of
Let's
business.
go. And so, I'm looking forward to track and field season. So, I'm with, you know what? Whatever practice is, take them. Embrace it. Love it. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's just, then it's gone.
Yeah, my assumption is this is going to be the last year Benny plays basketball. And so
You never know.
you never know.
Don't put any limitations on it. You never know.
But honestly, I don't know that he even that's where his heart is going forward or anything.
You know what's weird though? When they get to high school, they some things that they want to do that I didn't think they'd want to do, and some things that they don't want to do that I was sure that they'd want to do. It's weird, man. It changes.
That's great advice. I noticed that when we went to he went to his high school orientation, a couple weeks ago, and some of the classrooms that he actually showed the most interest in really surprised me. One of them was the media room. And I didn't think, Benny's never shown any interest whatsoever in what we do.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, his eyes lit up when he saw the studio and all these things, and he was like, I'm signing up for this class.
Yeah, I'm not pushing.
Okay.
They have a really cool broadcasting program at Pius, and I'm hoping. Phil got involved in it, and he loved it, but I'm not going to push it, but I want them to.
Yeah, no, I and that's the same thing with
Will you
basketball.
please?
I
Yeah.
wanted Ben to play basketball this year because I wanted him to be involved in something.
That's right.
But it's when you get to high school, start picking what you want to do. I don't care. As long as they're doing something, And I just point being could be my last chance to drop him off for basketball
Right.
practices, and I
Do
try
it.
to value every one of them that I can because it goes really fast.
Drake, can I throw you you love baseball, you love the Cardinals, and we don't, we allow that. Can I throw you a curveball?
Oh,
Please do.
Can you push all the buttons and ring all the bells and make it possible to play something that I have DM'd you on X? I slid in your DMs. I thought I did it last night, but apparently I don't know if you do this. Last night I fell asleep holding my phone, like doing stuff for the show. I was in there, I was like trying to highlight different sound clips I wanted to play, and apparently I was like, and apparently there were pictures taken of me holding my phone to sleep, which apparently it's funny to some of my kids or whatever.
Yep.
And so I thought that I had sent this last night to Drake, but I did not. But I got a kick out of this. Man, I'm telling you, and I'll just talk. Just let me know when you play it, but I'll talk about it until then. I am very happy to see how much love Steve Spagnuolo is getting right now, and I'm hoping it's making people in Kansas City, not that they didn't already, but I hope it's confirming what an important piece he is to all this. Because I do this, you do this, we all do this. We all fall into that very easy trap. It's all Mahomes. It's Mahomes. As long as they got Mahomes. Well, we found out in the AFC Championship game against the Patriots, found out in the Super Bowl against Tampa, Mahomes can still be great, but still lose if he doesn't have enough support around him.
Yep.
Tom Brady won a decade without winning a championship. You got to have the right pieces. But it can be different. It can be an overwhelming offense that's just better than everyone else, and they can make up for a mediocre defense. We found out this year it can be an elite defense that makes up for an inconsistent offense. He can play. He can be different types of a quarterback and make it work like a chameleon. He can whatever the team needs him to be based on what the strengths of the team are around him. But what have we learned over these years? With any quarterback, you got to have a good offensive line.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be an offensive line like the Dick Vermeil Chiefs, which has a couple of Hall of Famers on it and an All-Pro and everything else. It'd be great, but that's not realistic, considering how much money that would cost. So be a good, solid offensive line. Having Kelsey, of course, helps. We've seen what Isaiah Pacheco adds to the mix. Is he a superstar? No, but he's damn good, and he's been damn good in the postseason as well. And now we see like what a defense means. What an elite defense means. And so to have a guy like Steve Spagnuolo, what did you do? By the way, let's investigate this for a minute. Why wouldn't it let you sign in? Are you banned? What have you been doing on X?
I
Let's talk
honestly
about
don't
this.
remember what my Twitter password is. I always just use it on my phone, and
Oh, really?
And so trying to log in here. Normally somebody's logged in, but nobody's logged in, so I'm trying to log myself in. So I'm going through about 50 different passwords I use.
How about Jake's? Is Jake already signed in?
He is
there?
not.
We should blow him up. Do you know your Twitter login?
Yep.
Oh,
I
do
can
you?
go in there? You want me to go in there?
What if I DM it to you and you go log in there? Now, Drake will have access to your DMs.
Oh boy.
I mean, are you comfortable with that?
Yeah. I trust Drake with my life.
Do you have any burner accounts we need to know
I
about?
don't have any burner accounts, and I think that my DM traffic is fairly above board.
There's nothing going to be like criticism. SSJ sucks. Or nothing like this. No.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's anything like that.
All right. Well, let's see.
all right.
Let's see this. You actually know, because I'll be honest with you. If I get signed out, I'm screwed. I have no idea what my password is.
I mean, I think I know. I don't remember the last time I
Okay,
had to
this
use
is
it.
intrigue. Go ahead, get in there. Does Nate Bukaty know his password to X?
The password.
Because I do not, and neither does Drake. This is very exciting. Drake, yes or no, do you think he knows his own password?
No chance.
Because I wouldn't. I'd have no idea. But anyway, there's this clip that at some point I feel like we're going to play. If indeed Nate Bukaty comes through here. Peter Schrager had Steve Spagnuolo on his podcast, and I would encourage you to watch or listen to the whole thing. And Spags talks about one of the biggest plays from the Super Bowl, and that was that 3rd and 4 where Trent McDuffie blitzed and was able to deflect the football and force the 49ers to kick a field goal instead of holding on to the ball till the very end and then, kicking a game-winning field goal without giving the Chiefs a chance to answer. And honestly, when that drive was going on, I did not feel great. I was mad because I thought that I was afraid they were going to pick up a first down there. Let's see. What's the update here? What does Nate say?
Now it's trying to get him to generate a code.
Generate a code, man. You can do it. Today on the Border Patrol, three old guys try to figure out how to sign in to X. I'm captivated by the look on his face. He's holding his phone. He's looking at the computer. Hey, let me tell you something. We know sports, technology. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP. Welcome back to the Border Patrol on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We're now joined. This is Stan. All hell's breaking loose right now on this show, so just bear with us. But glad you're here. We have Stan Weber in the studio. Stan, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Oh, jeez. We're trying. Nate is doing everything within his power to remember his password to X. See, because here's a little peek behind the curtain. When I see different video clips on X, formerly known as Twitter, right? I will send them in DMs the night before to Jake, and then Jake will be able to just take them off there and play them on the air, right? And so then last night I apparently fell asleep, phone in hand, and I thought I had sent it to Drake, and I didn't, so I sent it to him this morning, but then someone signed Drake out of his X account, and he couldn't get in it. And now Nate, after going through a gauntlet of different things, he had to tell us everything he had to do. You had to have an access code sent to your phone. How did this happen? How did this happen?
I went through a training with the network execs. Put us through a training where they told us that all your social media accounts like Twitter, you need to set up two-way verification.
That's right. That's right.
That way nobody can hack
into
your Twitter account and send out tweets that could get you in trouble.
Because Lord knows I would try.
Well, that maybe has happened in the past.
Well, I don't know who did that.
So I think Aaron Swartz maybe did that on me a couple times when he worked here. So, anyways, so now I remembered my password. But then it says, okay, now you got to check your authenticator on your phone to get the code.
So it kept you out.
And I couldn't. I have 3 different authenticators on my phone, and I couldn't remember which one was on my Twitter account.
As a test.
But I finally
you tested it, right? Okay.
I got the authenticator works. I got authenticated.
How about
and
this?
Now I'm in.
Nate versus technology. Nate wins.
I mean, it was. I lost the first couple rounds.
You still won,
but I stayed on my feet.
So perfect timing, though. So do we have this clip? Okay, so Stan, I think you'll enjoy this. This is about a minute and a half from Peter Schrager from NFL Network from Good Morning Football. He had Steve Spagnuolo on his podcast, and there's a couple of different clips that we could play, but I wanted to play this one because we've talked about this play, and everyone will talk about this play forever. It was when the 49ers were driving at the end of the game, and they had a 3rd and 4. If they pick up a first down, they'll have a chance to run the clock all the way down and kick a game-winning field goal and without giving Mahomes a chance to answer. But on that 3rd and 4, Trent McDuffie blitzed. He was able to get his hand on the football, and it was an incompletion. And so then the 49ers had to kick then. Mahomes had enough time, tie the game. Here is Spags talking about that play, one of the biggest plays of the Super Bowl, one of the biggest plays of the season.
What was your thought on 3rd and 4 coming out of a huge stop the play beforehand? Because if they get the first down, they bleed the clock, kick a field goal, game is over.
I think did Trent make that play on Kittle on a blue play? Yeah, it was a great tackle. Well, here's what happened, Pete. So if you remember on that play, there was about 2:20 or something, or 2:15 when they broke the huddle. So we made a call because I didn't know if he was going to let it come down to the 2-minute or not. And they decided to let it come down. We made a particular call, and then when it went to the 2-minute warning, of course, with the Super Bowl with these timeouts,
this big break to discuss.
Big break, huge break. So that's when the wheels go like this. And so it was at that moment you look up and go, okay, this is really, in my mind, I said to myself, this is real. This is a 4th down play. This is not a 3rd and 4 or 5, what it was. This is critical. I had a thought. I looked at my list and I said, I need to ask Nick about this. This is the trust I have in Nick Bolton. So Nick's on the field. Now he can't talk to me, but I'm staring right at him. I clicked the button and I said, Nick, what do you think about this? All I wanted to do was see his reaction. And he just started, yes, yes, yes. And he did the signal. And he was all in. And so I knew when he was all in that we should change it to that. So we changed personnel and put a different call in, and it was a 4th down call, or what we had on our 4th down list, and it was for the critical situation. And fortunately for us, our guys executed it really well.
So I like hearing stories like that, right? About and this is again Nate, we talked about this, where analytics fail. When you're trying to put a grade or a number on a player like Nick Bolton, he doesn't always grade out well. But there's nothing that factors in the value of him being the guy with the green dot, the guy with the green dot, the guy that Spags trusts, and they call that coach on the field, right? Mm-hmm. There's a tremendous value to that. He does things. There's intangibles in any sport, and especially in football, that Bolton brings to the table. And to hear that and hear how they had one play called, and boy, maybe if the 49ers would have snapped the ball before the 2-minute warning, they didn't have the right play maybe, and they get the first down and the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, but they let it bleed down. And I remember watching the game wondering, are they going to snap the ball? Are they going to take it at the 2-minute warning? Took it at the 2-minute warning, allowed Spags to reevaluate things. He talks to Bolton. What do you think? Bolton loves it. Changed personnel. The rest is history. I can listen to that stuff all day long.
Yeah, the behind the scenes is amazing, and you have a great play sheet. You have players who can execute many, many different things, but you only get to call one play in those situations, and that's what makes it amazing. And you hear the inside of how quickly it might have been something else. And the more and more you hear about this Super Bowl and the behind the scenes, you keep thinking from a 49ers perspective how they just were a millimeter from winning the game many times over. Just every little thing here and there that ends up, can't believe it ended up being that. And here's another example. What happens if the Chiefs wouldn't have run a 4th down defensive play and run a 3rd down defensive play? Ball game, because they should have ran it down to the 2-minute warning. That's not being stupid. That's good clock management. If they would have made the first down, the 2-minute warning would have passed. The Chiefs had already used one timeout. They're going to win the game. They needed 4 yards to win the game right there. That was ball game's opportunity for the 49ers. And here you think about Spags. And anytime there's more time to think about things, you look at the Chiefs sideline and the coaches and you go, who's going to win this battle? And Spagnuolo deserves to be in there as well. There's no cut down to Andy Reid, by the way, because if Andy Reid didn't have Spagnuolo, you know what the Chiefs would do, Steven? They would win the AFC West every year. Okay? But he does deserve credit for upping the defensive performance. When the salary cap issues started to occur because Patrick Mahomes needed to be paid like a legitimate quarterback off of his rookie contract, the Chiefs needed the defense to step it on up. And selection of the right players by Brett Veach, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, and everyone in the organization is just incredible. That's one big part of it. And then Spags' ability to call plays the way he does is pretty amazing. I think he's awesome.
This was the play, too, that they referenced that we kind of forget about. That was on 2nd down, right before that 3rd down play, where they completed the pass, I think, to Kittle. And look at this. First of all, it was pressured by Bolton. He got pressure on Purdy. But then how many times have you seen Kittle break a tackle, especially of a defensive back?
Definitely.
And then pick up the first down.
But he gets yanked down.
Look at this. There's pressure by Bolton here.
Bootleg to the right, throw into the flat.
Look at that. Look at that tackle. That was
almost old school.
That was McDuffie.
He
so
got
not only did he make the next play, but that tackle that set up the 3rd and 4.
Two in a row. We don't talk about 2 in a row. And his angle and speed was such that the reason why he tackled Kittle and Kittle didn't break the tackle is Kittle never got a turn up field.
Yeah.
He got tackled right when he caught the football. And that's because of being right there the whole time, reading that bootleg. The bootleg is meant to give you one false step. And if he doesn't have the speed to catch up or does not take the false step, he can get there and make the play. If you don't tackle him right there, if Kittle turns up one more step, he probably doesn't make the tackle, or he falls at least 2 yards forward, right? It's not 3rd and 4 anymore. It's 3rd and 2. And guess what 3rd and 2 or less brings up? Christian McCaffrey over the left side. And that would be hard to stop. And then he would have went for 4th down and not kicked the field goal. If Kittle would have fell forward by 2 yards, they would have went for 2 downs, and not
That's
one.
right. That's exactly right.
I mean, the more you cut this game apart for the Niners, you just go, really? It's like 100 chances to win the game fly by, and your coaches don't go out and just grab it.
I'll be honest with you. I was the 3rd and 4. I was afraid that they were going to run it and look at it and say, you know what,
and run it twice.
Field goal's not going to win this. We're going to run it twice.
Yep.
And I mean, especially in retrospect now, what would have given him a better chance to pick up that first down? 2 runs from McCaffrey or that third down play? I thought, man, the only chance for the Chiefs here is they drop back to pass and someone gets to him. Someone's got to get to him, and someone got to him.
Well, I said going into the game that Patrick Mahomes is the elite of the elite, but the reason why the Niners have a chance is not only because they're a good football team, but they got one guy in Christian McCaffrey that's enough of a superstar that even if the Chiefs are in the right defense and Spags has the right guys on the field and calls the right defense, he slithers through people when the blocks don't get worked perfectly, when the box is too full. He still can get that. Can you imagine giving him the ball twice? What would you think if you're the Chiefs fan right now and you just knew they just announced to the whole world Christian McCaffrey's going to run the ball twice from this 3rd and 4. If he doesn't get 4 yards on the first play, they're going to run him again. And what do you think your odds of winning the game are? They're sliding fast. Instead, perfectly called blitz. And the new theme that I have here is that Spagnuolo has now taken football to another level with his disguise and his acting. I want to call it acting for no better word right now. The players act before the play starts. And sometimes within the first second of after the play starts, he tells them to, look to your left and stand there and don't move, and then blitz to the right. And it's timed out like a band formation. You know how bands doing their thing. If you just followed one person and watch what they did, it's kind of weird. It's like electric football almost. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you standing still? Oh, now you're now you're moving slowly. Oh, then you take off fast. But if you look back and see the whole picture, like they're designing things for you to see. Yeah. And that's the way they are. I mean, McDuffie gives you no hint he's coming. You don't tell Brock Purdy, oh, you missed a key. You're a young quarterback. You should have definitely known that slot blitz was coming. No, that slot blitz came from a long ways away. McDuffie gave you no hint, but none of the other 10 players can give the hint either. You see what I'm saying? McDuffie's blitz often can be told by Willie Gay's movement. Oh, Willie moved there. That means I'm getting a slot blitz from the other side. That's how they decipher things. Anybody, they'll look at a player and say he has his right foot back an extra foot when they don't have the blitz on, and he has it 1 foot closer when they do. Those are the kind of things that they look at, these analysts and everyone else. They figure you out. All 11 guys have got to be on the same page, and Spags is now having them act and disguise before the play and even into the play. Go watch the Ravens game. It's the best. When they don't rush Lamar Jackson with a furor, right? They just go, first wave, you come like this. Second wave, you build angles out here, but you got to wait. Can't go immediately. And then the same thing with Buffalo, second half, right? When they couldn't stop the Bills, what do? They quit rushing the quarterback, trying to get by the lineman. They just dance with the offensive lineman, right, Steven? Arms extended, push. Everybody push like a sled. You practice a sled in the old days. They don't do it nowadays probably, but you push. Everyone push. Just keep Josh Allen thinking that there's no angle to run. No one try to sack him because you're not going to sack him. Yeah. He'll get away, right?
Yep.
These things are brilliant.
And you mentioned the Bills there, so I could bring this up. And we had some fun with it, that, Buffalo just has to look back. They have to be kicking themselves that they're the team that traded with the Chiefs to allow them to move up to 10 to draft Patrick Mahomes. Little did they know, but that move there, just allowing the Chiefs to move up to 10 may have cost the Bills a couple of trips to the Super Bowl. But then the other thing that we're going to start talking about a lot is the Chiefs traded up and jumped ahead of the Bills for McDuffie. And you've seen that, right? The video of the Bills war room when the trade happens, and it looked like someone just came and kicked everyone in the stomach. Like, there's a trade. Oh, Kansas City just traded up. And they all know, because they know it's from McDuffie, right? Because he's so good. We just talked about him making the tackle on Kittle, and then the blitz that stopped the drive, that ultimately gave the Chiefs a chance to win the game. He is spectacular. And he was an all-pro for a reason, and he does everything. You listen to Duron Cherry talk about him when he says he could have played in that secondary, reminds him of Albert Lewis and Kevin Ross. There's no higher praise, at least as far as I'm concerned. Then I see this week, and I know they're searching for talking points, but on ESPN, one of their morning shows, they had former GM Mike Tannenbaum on to talk about possible trades he thinks could work in the NFL, right? And the trade he suggested, and there's a whole highlight package around it, was the Chiefs should trade Trent McDuffie to the Dolphins for Jalen Waddle. Are you what did you smoke right before you got on this TV show? Because let me tell you something, and maybe this is recency bias, and you guys can call me crazy or whatever else. I wouldn't trade Trent McDuffie right now for Tyreek Hill. That's how unbelievable I think Trent McDuffie is. I think next year he has every chance to be the best corner in the league. And you could say if Buffalo would have ended up with Trent McDuffie instead of Kaiir Elam, who couldn't even get on the field, you've talked about it. That margin of error at Buffalo was so close. You put McDuffie in a Buffalo Bills uniform, maybe Buffalo wins that game. And that's how much love and respect I have for what I've seen from Trent McDuffie on the field. And so, first of all, what a ridiculous, I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you would trade him for Jalen Waddle right now. But then that's the other reason why I'd love to keep L'Jarius Sneed, but I'm not going to freak out because Trent McDuffie is, like I said, I think he has every chance to be the best corner in the league. Maybe he already is. I don't know. I mean, you watch him. He does, what does he do poorly? He does everything.
He plays a modern style as well because he isn't overly physical in a way that creates penalties. He doesn't have that gene where he has to blow people up or take a swat with his arm that hits their head and gives a 15-yard penalty. Nowadays, you got to be very careful when you blitz, when you tackle, and he seems to do all of that very smoothly. And I know Nate remembers me telling him this last week or whatever, that I always thought when I watched his tape after the Chiefs drafted him, I don't worry about watching tape before these guys get drafted. I have no idea which team's going to pick who. I watch after they're drafted and say, okay, now what I think. And I said the thing that McDuffie does is he feels very comfortable around the box, inside, blitzing, tackling. The tackle he had on Kittle, that's a line of scrimmage tackle. That's a physical play you got to make. The blitz he made. How many cornerbacks get called to make that blitz and then don't execute it? What happens if he just ran in there and Purdy ducked him and he ran right by? Now your defense is completely exposed. Purdy could run, throw for a touchdown. You expose yourself when you have that slot corner blitz if you don't make yourself big or tackle the quarterback, and he does all those things perfectly. When you look at it, you don't even blame Purdy for making a bad play, do you? It's like, no, Duffy got him from the start. On the way in, he was going fast, but not out of control. He made himself big like he's Chris Jones, going to knock this pass down. And if he would have held the ball, if Purdy would have tried to pump fake, because if that was Josh Allen would have pump fake and said, let's go. See if you can tackle me, right? That's not Purdy's game. But either way, McDuffie would have had plenty of room to balance himself, even when he's ready to jump and knock a football down, to go make the tackle. He's very, very good. But I will say this. I don't want to cut down McDuffie because I was impressed with him when I saw him in a Washington uniform, okay? But don't we get a chance to think about, and I think possibly say, that McDuffie with Spags may be better than McDuffie would have been at Buffalo, just like I think Patrick Mahomes with Andy Reid is different than Patrick Mahomes would have been. Okay, if Patrick Mahomes would have been selected by Buffalo or whoever, he wouldn't have 3 Super Bowl championships right now. He wouldn't. Andy Reid deserves, he got the greatest piece of clay ever, but it still took someone to be able to handle that, and Spags deserves that with McDuffie. And the Chiefs deserve it with cornerbacks. Where did Sneed come from? You know, Buffalo wouldn't, if Sneed were with Buffalo, he would have cycled out, don't you think? And Buffalo's a good team.
Yeah.
But they do not have the magic that Spags and Andy have. There's something about those guys that are, the coaching's elite, but their ability to connect with these young kids and still have respect from them. We keep saying this. You know, you look at the stardom that Patrick Mahomes and now Travis Kelce may have surpassed him worldwide. They have that, but they still look at Andy Reid and they wonder. You know, like they're the famous people, but they still wonder, does Andy accept what I'm doing right now? Am I living up to his standards? They're looking over their shoulder a little bit when he's at practice and they're doing stuff. You know, they act like they're free spirits, but you know what? You hear them talk, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, Big Red's a badass, you know, in their world. He's smarter than me. I have respect for him. And I think Spagnuolo has the same thing with those guys, that they don't jack with him. And that's not what's happening in the NFL at other places. It's the players are playing, the coaches are trying to herd the cats, don't talk too mean to them, you know, and You just try to make it work the best you can. The Chiefs are doing it at an elite level, way past the other coaching staffs that they're competing against. The Miamis, the Buffaloes of the world. Do you think the Ravens are the one that should have been most connected? They should have had the next best coaching staff, and they completely failed in the face of pressure with an offensive coordinator. Now, how much does John Harbaugh take on the responsibility of being a head coach and not having his offensive coordinator going? Because they bragged about him all year long, right? But he hasn't been a Raven coordinator for a long time. But the coaching differential, how much did that help this young quarterback become a superstar?
I mean, all the difference in the world.
Because he might be just a good cornerback in the NFL, but not all pro, not dominating. I don't know. I don't want to cut down his ability because he seems to have a great attitude.
And talking to me, he's never seemed like a rookie. Just like, even keel, and that you see that on the field too.
You guys talk to him, so I'm going to guess this, and you can tell me if it's true. When you come in, you're a first-round pick, and you have success, and you win, it can start changing you. Rocky movies, okay? Like, I love Rocky movies, and I want to root for Rocky all the way. But he did turn into, hey, I got used to money, and it kind of changed
That's
some
right.
of his core, right?
Mickey got all pissed off. He was training in a hotel ballroom, and there was bubbles everywhere. You can't win a championship like that when Clubber Lang is training in the streets of Chicago, Nate.
Don't you think that's just normal human reaction?
Right.
Well, he doesn't seem like he's changed at all to me. I mean, he just continues to play, and when you hear him interviewed and stuff, it doesn't seem like he's all caught up in, I'm the next Travis Kelce, I'm the next Patrick Mahomes, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs. He doesn't talk trash to the other teams like, we're going to kick you, we're so much better than you. This guy's only known winning Super Bowls.
Well, he acts like a veteran in the locker room, even when he talks to
But he seems
him.
so calm.
Yeah.
Like, I got a job to do.
Yep.
That's amazing to not get caught up in acting like this is easy. And I'm the reason why. Like, look at this great defense we play now. Tyreek Hill's no longer here. I'm a superstar. I'm an all-pro. Why isn't it me? I don't see that with him at all.
No.
I think that's a heck of a
Yeah.
personal discipline. And that's how he plays the game. He plays it with discipline. If they ask him to cover deep, he's covered deep. If you ask him to play man-to-man and monitor a guy, he marks him perfectly. If they say blitz, he blitzes perfectly. If they say run up and make a tackle at the line of scrimmage and get big boy shoulder pads, he does it. He just seems to be like, whatever you need me to do, I will do it. And I don't think I'm a great, it has not gone to his head. And you know how hard that would be if you were a first-round pick and you won Super Bowls your first couple years?
I mean, it's.
I watch you two guys grow up as youngsters, and now you're sitting in these chairs. Look how cocky you guys are.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Especially
complacent.
Nate.
It is a sign of an incredible competitor, right? They're not motivated by the money part of it. I mean, yeah, they want to make money, but it's not like, because you see sometimes guys make enough money where if they wanted to, they could just say, I don't want to put in the effort anymore. I'm good. I'm comfortable. And they don't. They just keep competing. But, the stuff you're talking about with McDuffie, when you made that analogy to a marching band and everybody working in synchronicity, if that's the right word.
It's a good word. I like that.
It's the same thing within the organization when it comes to getting these players, because, like you said, Spags and Andy Reid have a good thing going, but Dave Merritt, Brett Veach, from the scouting department all the way through the coaching staff, they understand what kind of players they're looking for. And, I mean, I've been looking back at some of these quotes from Dave Merritt about McDuffie through the course of the year. I think at one point, I can't find this quote, but I saw it somewhere earlier this week. I think he said he was the highest-rated corner they ever had in the draft. And then I'm looking at these other quotes where he talks about all the different things. Like, if you break down an athlete by physical ability, mental ability, technical ability, and tactical awareness, he's like off the charts in all of them, right? Like Merritt talks about how when he hits the sled, he hits it harder. It surprises him every time because of how hard he hits the sled with the explosion in his hips and all that. His awareness, he never played slot in college. Last year as a rookie in the NFL was the first time he was asked to play that responsibility. He picked it up mentally so quickly because he understood it. And I was looking at a thing from Merritt where he said, we've asked him to play in his rookie year 3 different types of press coverage, 3 different techniques. And he was able to pick all 3 of them up and then execute them on the field. His awareness in the run game to keep his run fit and actually be a factor in it. It's like, And then the mental capacity to not get too high, not get too low through a rookie season, not let the success go to your head. He seems to be off the charts in all of those, and they saw that, which made them smart enough to trade up and draft him. It's great. It's crazy.
And like you pointed out, and my daughter Selena pointed out, most importantly, she thinks he's cute. And
Handsome.
You've signed off on that
Quite
as well.
handsome, yeah.
Absolutely. We'll take a break. Back after this on WHP.
Fun.
Yeah, you bridge to the. If you can bridge to them smoothly, you can bring out their best.
All right, we got Stan Weber we went long, so this is.
Do I have to pay for parking out here?
Nah, it's less than $68. I can tell you that. We got Stan Weber for the next hour, And then our Border Patrol Fast Break with Gabe DeArmond, Missy Heydrich, and Greg Gurley. We'll have Tim Melia from Sporting Kansas City. And was that right?
Yes, that's
Okay.
right.
You refused to confirm then, so I just wanted to make sure. And then Tim Grunhard will join us on the phone. Is that quick enough for you? Thanks, Shane. Back after this on WHP. I accomplished a lot in that commercial break. I made some hot tea and some oatmeal. How about that? Nate doesn't care. Stan, do you care? I hope you do. How about parking? What do you think of parking? What do you think of parking for the KC Current?
It's an interesting subject. I didn't realize the pricing for the lots around the stadium were that costly. I knew there weren't very many spots
2,300.
for an 11,000 seat stadium, and they think they're going to have that number of fans there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they need extra parking. I can tell everyone out there who wonders, like, what's next? They are going to have other locations that they would tell you that you can buy spots at those spaces ahead of time and know that you're going to get to park there. And the cost will be different than, $68, including fees. It'll be a lower cost. You won't be at the stadium, and you will just then get picked up by, let's say, small buses and driven over to the stadium. And then after the game, you'll be driven back to your car, and then you can leave from there. It's very interesting to me because in Kansas City, I just can't imagine how many people are going to be excited about saying, you mean I'm going to park my car a mile away or 2 miles away or 3 miles away or whatever it is, and then wait for the bus and go into the stadium and then come back? What happens if my kid's not feeling well and midway through the game I need to get back to my car? You don't just walk out to the parking lot and control your destiny. You're relying upon other modes of transportation and it all linking together. So they definitely have a plan in place. They're trying to execute that plan now. I don't know what the cost points are going to be. Have not heard that. But the $68 and the, 2,300 parking spaces, is it really on gravel lots?
Right now it is.
Really? $68 to get my car all dirty with their dust as I drive in from Johnson County.
Talk to Soccer Man over there.
I don't
He
have
signs
anything
off
to
on
do with
all-
the prize.
he signs off on all
I
this
just heard
stuff.
that yesterday. I cannot believe that.
Loves it.
Is that because they don't have time to pave them, or is it true that they aren't going to pave them?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've heard it's some kind of environmental thing.
Is that right?
So they're not
That's
gonna
what I
pay them?
heard. I don't know if it's true. Anyway, if that's
man.
true, all I can do is laugh. Like, you want me to pay $68 to have everyone to park on non-paved?
And then go pay for your car wash too after
Yeah.
you.
And if it rains, I'm sure no
Yeah.
dust comes off that kind of stuff.
Well,
Anyway, I'm surprised that they have a stadium with 11,000 seats and only 2,300 parking spaces. That surprises the heck out of me. If I had said, how's this going to work? But, the Royals are going to move downtown, and the parking, there's plenty of parking around there. It'll just be other people control the parking.
The team won't make the money off it.
The Royals won't control all the parking. There's parking downtown. I mean, I know all about that, but you'll have to decide what lot you feel comfortable with, or what garage, or what angle you're going to come from to get there. So it'll be a learning curve for everybody. It won't be as simple as going out to Kauffman or, obviously, Arrowhead, same parking lot. So I was a little surprised that the Current got in this situation, that there's only 2,300 spaces, but I know what their plan is. They're out right now working hard to get other parking options that will cost less. It'll be much more reasonable, and it just means you're going to be curried over from wherever you park your car. You'll need to be taken to the stadium. That's the second alternative. So everything isn't $68, and that's it. That's for the ones who want to be close to the stadium. They'll pay the higher price, supply and demand. As long as the team has at least 2,300 cars needed, they can charge whatever they want, right? But we'll see how it all spreads out, where the lots are going to be. I kind of know where they're going to be. But there are going to be other options. The River Market just does not have enough parking. Okay, they're near the River Market. If you don't, they're by the river, right over by the highway on the northeast side of the downtown loop. But if you go straight from downtown where the big buildings are, Main Street, for instance, it's River Market when you go on the other side of the highway. So if people don't know, that's River Market there, and there's very little parking there, and a couple of the parking lots are now being developed. So that took away even more parking. So there's the parking stress in River Market is very, very high. That means they need to start parking south of the highway, okay? And on Saturdays when farmers market's going on, that's already happening. That parking is available on the south side, but for the Current, it's going to be organized where they're going to say, this is your exact lot. You'll know exactly where you're supposed to park, which lot it is, what street it's going to be on, what corner. That'll all be very, very well planned out when you go to your app or however you do it. You prepay, and you'll have the right to go park there in that lot. But from that point, you got to get moved to the stadium, however you get there.
That's always been the toughest thing about going to the city market or Saturday morning and finding a good place to park. You know.
Yeah.
But if you know, I've got some tricks. I've got some secret parking spots. Shh. Can't say it on the air. I'm not going to ruin it.
Yeah, and you just have to decide which one you're going to use. So that's the Currents' plan, is that they really are focused on this. They know they don't have enough spots close to the stadium, and so they'll have a plan in place that it won't just be random. I don't think the Royals can do this. The Royals can't, with all their 81 home dates, say, Nate, prepay for this garage 3 blocks away. Company X will allow you to park in their garage. I don't think they're going to do that. That's not downtown baseball. That's not urban baseball, right? You figure it out. You're like, Steven, you know your spot, and you figure out where you're going to park. But for the Current, they're going to step up and say, it's just not random. Like, find a spot in downtown Kansas City and hope you can make it over to the game. They're going to organize and say, we got this lot and this lot and this lot and this lot, and you can pay for these lots. So they're going to try to take care of it as if all the parking is right around the stadium that they control. They're acting as if they control it if you buy in to park and ride with them for a cheaper price, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that any new information? I thought.
No,
I heard you guys talking about it yesterday, and I go, I can't call in on Thursday. That wouldn't. Stephen wouldn't let me on Thursday, so I'll wait till Friday.
You want to.
Isn't part of the deal, and maybe I'm wrong now with the newest development plan, but I thought part of the deal with the Royals was they wanted not just the footprint of where the stadium is, but the area around it so they